Hi guys, and welcome back to your Pretty for a podcast. I'm your host Iman.
I'm Saba, and today we're joined by Pull the Plug podcast. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves?
I'm Freddie.
I'm Tevin.
And I'm Lauren.
So today's episode, we will be talking about the Madonna-Whore Complex. I feel like, I don't know when the first time I was introduced to this complex. I think it was like a year ago or 2 years ago. And I feel like every single thing that I see now, I'm like, yep, you got Madonna-Whore Complex.
You see
Madonna-Whore Complex, Madonna-Whore Complex. So before I kind of explain what it is, I want you guys each,
What do you
Freddie,
think?
Tevin, for Lauren, what do you think Madonna-Whore? I know you don't have research and da-da-da-da, but just face value, what do you think it is?
Wow, what's
Siri's not having it!
Siri won't help you.
Siri
man.
said as well.
Siri
She
can't
ain't-
help you.
I ain't got an answer for that too.
So obviously at first when you first put it on the group chat, I was like, what is this? Because I genuinely thought it meant Madonna, the singer.
Okay.
So
Yeah, no, not the
I was
pop
like,
star. No.
What's the Madonna whore? And to be fair, I shouldn't really call people whores, but she is kind of, in fact, she said she's a whore herself. So I was like, okay, what is this? A whore complex? But then I started doing some research into it, and apparently it's something to do with Freud and psychoanalysis. And I thought, okay, there's definitely some kind of ancestral ties to this because he kind of like incests himself. But
It's definitely...
I worry about Freud.
do you know what? Yeah.
Yeah.
Go.
But essentially, what it is, it's just basically, it's something that I'm kind of victim or privy to. What I kind of do is, obviously, Madonna is like the Mary, Mother of Jesus, just like a pure saint, etc. And then obviously a whore is a whore, and you tend to go for whores if you want to just like date or if you don't want to take them seriously.
Mhm.
But a Madonna is the one that you definitely want to settle down with. And I only realized that, oh, right, I actually do this myself. There are
Okay.
certain types of girls that I won't mess around with, and there are certain types of girls that I will be like, yeah, and that is wrong. But yeah, that's
Okay.
my
Mhm.
Tevin?
definition.
It's kind of similar. When you first said Madonna-Whore Complex, I was like, it's just literally just about, Madonna being a whore.
Okay.
So, but yeah, like sort of similar to Fred. Then obviously I looked into it, and then I realized that again, it's basically all to do with the ideology that there's a dichotomy of women. Like one woman is just holier than thou, and the others wouldn't do something strange for a bit of change.
Mm.
So then I realized that effectively that is kind of what governs a lot of modern day like relationships, whether they be sexual, romantic,
Yeah.
That's like the compass that kind of guides everyone, especially today, and obviously especially back then as well. But yeah, that's kind of my take on what it is or what I thought it was initially.
My take on it was that Madonna is pretty much the girl that you want to take home to meet your parents. You want to take home your family. You see her being the mother of your kids.
Mhm.
And the whore is the girl that you have for the night. The girl that you chat to once in a while. You hit her up, ask her what she's doing. You're just looking for something quick. Just
Well-
like fast food, basically. Yeah, that's all it is.
Well, Freud coined this term, and there's a good quote from him actually where it says, where such men desire, they cannot love, and where they love, they cannot desire. And in principle, and what you guys kind of just said is totally right. Like you've got a Madonna who's like Virgin Mary, and you've got a whore who is sexually liberated, promiscuous, extroverted as opposed to introverted, opinionated, independent of thought, X, Y, and Z. So when we fast forward to 2020 and we look at modern day examples of that, a lot of women today challenge both of them, and a lot of women today can be both. Yeah, i.e., a whore. Don't do that with your face, Lauren. I saw that.
Sorry, I always do that.
So-
Hot Girl Summer. That's
So in modern day, a whore is seen as somebody who is super independent and works for herself and does what she wants to do and is
Might
and
dress
is
provocatively.
quite just who is sexually liberated with her partners and X, Y, and Z, who's like a trophy girl. Yeah. Whereas the Madonna is somebody who perhaps doesn't date, perhaps isn't, or not necessarily doesn't date, but isn't as sexually liberated or isn't as provocative or doesn't wear as provocative
More
clothing,
conservative.
isn't as sexualized.
Mhm.
Now, this is the problem, yeah? Because men can't differentiate between the two, and a lot of men who have this complex, a lot of men who have the complex can't say, okay, someone who I find sexually attractive cannot be a wifey. And I feel like this is something that we've always spoken about, but we've just never realized that there was a term for it. But how many times have I heard, oh, she's not wifey material because she's wearing this or she's doing this or she's at a libertine or she's here, or as soon as COVID, you know,
She has too many
even
Instagram
COVID.
followers.
Yeah.
Yeah, like even with COVID, as soon as COVID finished, yeah, if your girl's a Novikov, she's a write-off. Da, da, da. Like it's so like concrete with regards to how we view things. It's crazy that it's that we haven't been speaking about this before, because it's so black and white. When you actually read into it and you actually understand it, it's so clear.
And I think it's something that you see it once you notice it, you even see it within movies that we watch, within everything like TV, just amongst your friends, conversations you have. It's so embedded in our culture that this generation, that's like the only way you think. It's just this type of woman and this type of woman.
Is there a female equivalent to how they perceive men?
No,
That's cat.
Has to be.
That's
Has to be. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
That
there
has to
not
be.
not by Freud.
Whoa.
No, actually.
Oh, so now. Oh.
I don't think there's a female equivalent of what they see men, like seeing men in that similar way. But there is a female thing of, there are women who actively try to be the Madonna or try to be the whore.
So here's
No. Because there must be a type of man that you look at and say, this guy doesn't have the right characteristics for me to take him
you know, a
seriously.
prime example would
Or to be
when
the father of my
But
kids.
that's usually always linked to finance. More
Whoa.
time.
Whoa.
It is.
Whoa.
It
so
is.
there's only money.
When we're looking at women with regards to characteristics that they often see that's
I'm
like
like
this,
this
that, and the
podcast.
other.
Yeah.
That's
Hold
what
on,
a lot
so
of women
what's
do.
this one, the finance height complex?
Where do you find the term gold digger is usually associated with women as
Yeah.
opposed to men?
So as soon as a man reaches a certain threshold, he's acceptable to be
No,
married.
but you're saying, is there a women equivalent? I'm
Yeah.
telling you that could be the equivalent where it's to do with finance, but it's certainly not to do with the way he looks or if he's promiscuous. So I'm telling you now, even so simple, yeah. When it comes to, you know, like the question of body count, for example, 9 times out of 10. A woman probably wouldn't care. 9 times out of 10, a man probably would care.
100 out of 100. It's not even 9 out of 10.
Yeah, but that's not the equivalent.
No. Or 99.
That's not
This is
the.
one
No, but
person.
what I'm trying to say to you is that's not the equivalent. Do you understand?
Yeah,
so
I-
Amber Rose, yeah.
my example of my theory of what a female equivalent would be is, you know how women will say, yeah, he's cool, but you know he like.
Yeah.
You know, like when girls will go for bad boys and the night, you know how the
No, but that's completely.
You know, here's a question: where do you think the whole nice guys finish last stems from? It's due to the fact that women have give preferential treatment to guys that they see as the bad boy types. It's the same way like girls prefer guys that are arseholes. I don't know why for the life of me, but from
Yeah, but that's different to the Madonna-Whore Complex.
but I'm trying to
But
say
it's
in the
the-
sense that there's a
it does,
dichotomy.
it's not
a light.
Saba preach.
I hear that.
Saying it
I
in
hear.
terms of the kind of the bad boy image, and then having someone you can settle down with, like, oh, I can bring him back
There
to
we
my
go.
parents.
So therefore, but
There
there's
is that
like
sort of
an
thing.
image
Yeah.
that
But I
men
think
are
it's less driven by.
media.
No, it is actually still driven by media. You see it in rom-coms, like early 2000s, that kind of thing. The girl will go for a guy who's a bad boy,
Like
but
the skater.
it doesn't work out. It doesn't end up together. Yeah, I do. I didn't see it in that perspective. I do agree.
No, but Madonna-Whore Complex is deeper.
and it's
Ignore
deeper.
those.
No. I agree with Iman. It is deeper. It is a lot deeper than that because it's the way we have like fueled dating in our society.
Okay,
The
in
woman
terms of-
is always inferior. The woman is always
That
based on her
barely-
sexuality, and that's something that we cannot control.
That
This
barely
is what I'm
happens.
saying.
Hold on, you
But
can
do you
control
think
your
it's based on
sexuality.
insecurities by like the guys' insecurities? Fear that the woman might actually just leave them for someone
Sorry,
else.
say that again.
I'm
Do you-
so sorry.
Yeah,
I said,
sorry.
do you think it's actually based on insecurity? The reason why guys tend to opt
Yeah,
for
definitely.
a Madonna
Definitely.
as opposed to a whore
Definitely,
because a whore
definitely.
might leave them.
No, I think it's the complete opposite. I think that actually it's not based by insecurities. I think that they've got this stigma in their head where they think that a whore is just not worthy of coming home. Because more time when they're with a Madonna, they'll cheat on the Madonna with a whore.
100%.
Exactly. And not just that,
But it's
because
'cause-
you see the Madonna as someone who could be the mother of your kids, right?
Yeah.
But
She's not a
when
sexual
when
fantasy.
exactly you can't sexualize a mother. Like
Yeah.
you see it
So-
happen all the time. They'll get married and then you see
I
them in a
fully get
different
what you
perspective.
mean,
But
man.
also,
Men cheat for
yeah,
that
and
reason.
also there was the film Taxi Driver, and basically, in a nutshell, when he gets married, but because he saw her as this Madonna, as soon as he got married to her and he had sex with her and he's got kids with her, the thought of her being sexualized by another man repulses him. But like he makes him so jealous and so infuriated that she is
Yeah,
now
the
a
De Niro
sexual
film.
being as opposed to a Madonna. She is now a whore.
So this is why I said it kind of ties in with this ancestral ties, because obviously I'm sure you guys have heard of the Oedipus complex or Oedipus complex, where you kind of fantasize about your mother, that you actually want to marry your mother when you're young, or you want to marry your father when you're...
Quick.
One second,
wait,
stop.
quick disclaimer. Fred only represents his own views, not that of the
This is actually an accepted psychoanalysis
Yeah.
No, it is.
so
it is,
you
it
think-
is.
But I'm not saying that I agree with this.
No,
but
I was
this
just
is-
asking-
this is
asking.
No, but
accepted.
some women have it with their fathers.
And some men with
yeah.
their mothers. So technically, this is why I said it kind of comes with the incest thing, because technically, people kind of marry.
Yeah, because
their
they want
mothers,
a lot of
features, So-
because guys, particularly so this is when we're talking about Madonna-Whore Complex, and then we're talking about different ethnic minorities who cater to the Madonna-Whore Complex. Yeah. So, for example, I could talk of the North African community.
Yeah.
There's a lot of men in my community that literally marry wives who might even be from back home.
Yeah.
That will cook,
Yeah.
that will clean, that will do what they need them to do. Yes, no. Be a mother, yeah? But that, I think, stems from other socioeconomic issues, particularly growing up as well. I
You're
don't.
saying
I
that
think.
they
I
were
think there's. I
repulsed.
think there's lack of love in their household from their mum to the son, and that's because within my culture and within my religion and within the way that we've been brought up is that's it. As soon as you got a boy, he's the man of the household. There's no love. There's no empathy. You don't talk about your emotion. You don't talk about this. You're literally just a man who is gonna go out and work and make money and provide. That's it. So when he goes and marries somebody, he then sees that woman as he does his mother, somebody who comes in, looks after the house, and that's it. So him trying to bring home a whore who, bearing in mind, I'm not just talking somebody who's sexually liberated, somebody who is opinionated, someone who is assertive, someone who is confident,
Who goes against the
independent.
grain.
Pardon?
Someone who goes against the grain.
Someone who's not like his mother. That's when there's an issue.
Yeah.
You know, I actually have to agree with what both of you are saying. I'll definitely say that it's inherent within the male culture that, you know, it's like, you know how the saying is men think with their dicks, so to speak. And then it's funny that we said all this, because I think about the times, you know, when if a man cheats, a guy can always, you know how it's always there's this thought process that it's a situation where a guy can cheat and it means nothing, but for a woman to cheat is something different. But then that kind of that stems from the idea that, you know, for men it's just sex, you know. But for women it has to be something deep, as the emotion.
But that's true though. But that's true. Women cheat because they're not getting
It is,
something
but-
within
but
their
you're
relationship.
right, it is true to
But sometimes women can just want sex as well.
Those are the whores.
No, we're not.
No, but I mean, those are...
Okay,
those are-
listen. Even if I remove the A and B, yeah, remove Madonna, I remove whore.
Yeah.
Don't use whore in the word that we know it today.
Okay. But those are girls that like to have sex. That's why they freely want to do it,
But they can
committed relationships.
No, but these women who can have sex, once they commit, they can commit. I'm not saying that they can't commit. We're not saying that they're Lucifer's kids. We're just saying that obviously once they are, you know, in a situation where they're with a partner, with a long-term partner or short-term partner, they can be who they are and express who they are sexually, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're not worthy of...
See, look, the way guys look at whores within the Madonna-Whore complex is that they're almost damaged goods. They're only good for a particular reason.
But
I don't think that's going to change anytime soon, if I'm honest.
No, but this is where... Okay.
But why do you think that? What unpack that? Why do you...
It's because if
why
you
is
know
your
that...
thought process?
For me as a guy, if I know that there's a girl that would give it out freely, I think there's nothing special about me. If she's giving it out freely for other people, then
But you,
and
okay,
myself,
fine,
she can
fine,
give it out
fine,
to
fine.
everyone.
But your definition of a whore is on the basis of sex. Yeah. Okay. So let me just flip that notion on you. Yeah. So for example, in other cultures, they've got different conditions when it comes to what a whore is.
Yeah.
So
100%.
I'm gonna talk in the MENA community, i.e., North African and Middle Eastern community. Someone who is a whore might be someone that just don't wear hijab.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
understand.
let's say, for example, I personally, I know what I am. I don't do X, Y, and Z and yada, yada, yada without going into my personal life. But I may be considered a whore just on face value. Just me sitting here wearing a t-shirt and trackies and not having a hijab, I will be seen as not wifeable. But then in other Western cultures or in other cultures where they're not kind of, overridden by all of those different factors, I'm seen as a Madonna. Do you understand? So now we have to then go into different cultures and different minorities and different religions and sects and beliefs and everything, because there's Madonnas and whores that come and stem from different places.
100%. For instance, yourself and Saba, if you guys come from a similar background, raised up roughly the same. I know it's not identical, but roughly
Similar,
the same.
yeah.
But then the way you look at two different guys or the same guy, you may see him as a whore, whereas another one may see you as a Madonna. So it depends on each person regarding how they see each people regarding on
subjective.
regarding on their own beliefs.
Yeah, it depends. That's why I think there's also now a in between as well. That's where we would fall in.
Yeah.
Because in certain societies we're considered a Madonna, and in certain societies we'd be considered a whore.
Yeah.
And in this sense, in this context. So it's, you have to kind of, when you think about this theory, you have to take into consideration that culture has an impact, religion has an impact, where you've grown up has an impact.
Even friendship groups as well.
Even friendship groups has an impact. So
But this is what I'm saying. Like we're now in 2020 and you've got women that genuinely challenge both. That frazzles certain men's minds. Like there's men that I've met in my community, they cannot understand me. Like they can't get into my head. They're confused because I can't be one day, in a headscarf and I'm cleaning and I'm making tagine, and then in another day I'm in libertine. Do you know what I mean? to them, the two don't make sense.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm struggling because I feel like I've tried to deal with this issue my whole life. And I feel like my immediate family have tried to deal with this issue our whole lives. Do you know what I mean? When it comes to the men that are around me and X, Y, and Z. So yeah, it's definitely something that I'm always going to challenge, and it's definitely something that I'm always going to blame society for dictating this, whether that be through film, through art, through, like, you see it in every single creative industry that we have. You see it in every single video, you see it in every single film, you see it all around us, whether, do you know what I mean? Like even in Picasso's drawings.
Yeah,
I get that, but at least in this Western culture that we're in, the reason why I won't want to settle down with a whore is because it's just knowing that,
yeah. You don't have to explain.
But
I know.
One second.
I know.
I know where you're getting at. But obviously I don't know your experiences or whatever. But if you... So
when I mean whore, I mean whore, as in not...
No, I know. But this is...
outspoken. I don't mind outspoken.
So you mean someone who's been a very sexual being.
Very promiscuous.
okay.
Very promiscuous.
The free spirit.
Sexually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
the feminist vegans.
The open legs.
But this is the problem, and this is what I see.
Sorry.
This is what I see within my culture a lot of the time, where Arab men, Iranian men will be like, okay, I'm gonna go have fun, I'm gonna sleep around, I'm gonna do whatever, but then I'm gonna marry someone who's a virgin.
I got no problem with that, I can't lie.
No, but then why is it okay for you to be doing that? But then I'll mess around with these girls because they're worthy of messing around.
Yeah.
But I have to marry someone who's saved themselves, who's done this, done that. What is that theory? Why is that girl not worthy of man.
The reason being, okay, let me
do you
speak
wanna
myself here.
explain,
But
Let me see.
it's okay for you to do X, Y, and Z.
No, but
Everybody, wait.
But you're not. But
everyone's different.
you're
Everyone-
still worthy. You're still
you're still
worthy of
worthy.
the
No,
Madonna.
no.
But you're not a Madonna.
It's not that I'm worthy.
See what I'm saying?
It's not-
Make
it's
it
not
make
that-
sense because
it's
you're not worthy.
It's not that I'm worthy. I'm not saying that I'm worthy. Maybe I'm asking for a second chance. I don't know. but it's just really and truly. It's just knowing that. Okay, let's say I'm having like a housewarming. She brings her friends. I bring my friends, and then these times. Like the guys are just standing there holding a cup, like in the corner, just like, yeah. Remember that time when she did that?
Oh,
Sucky, gluck, gluck, whatever. I'm just.
that would kill me.
It's
man.
just that these guys might have all.
No, but that's
I
different.
don't-
That's someone that's going with your frat. Of course, you've got ego. Of course. But we've been talking about somebody. Let's say, for example, a girl that you don't know. You know, she don't know your
But
the
her
guy.
friends, I don't know if she's done it with her friends or whatever.
You know what
or if she's known as that. And it's not even just that. It's also knowing that, okay, it's all about trust, really and truly. Obviously, you'll try and build trust in a relationship, but it's just knowing that, okay, she's that flirty type of individual in general. All it takes is for me to be angry, or we can have an argument one day, and she might
gone.
She might cheat or something like that. And I don't want that. I don't want it to be one of those ones whereby, she's at work and she has a work husband.
So, okay, hold on. All right, cool. So you're saying she might cheat, then she might gone. Yeah, that's what you said,
She's
yeah?
about to cook his ass.
However. So when you marry the Madonna, you're basically reducing your standards.
I'm not reducing my standards.
You
by the
are.
way. No.
You are.
I'm basically saying, I don't mind an outspoken girl. I don't mind. I kind of prefer that, to be fair. But I don't want someone that's been about.
Sexually been about.
Yeah, sexually been about.
I think the problem is everyone's whores within the Madonna-Whore Complex is different.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
subjective.
That's it. Like,
what does it mean to you guys? And do you think there's an in between? Each of you, a question for each of you.
I feel like the only thing that is
Enough.
the only thing that is strictly prohibited is having a body
Being
count.
promiscuous.
Yeah, no, promiscuous is fine.
I'm waiting for the number now. That's
Give me the number.
See, it depends on it. Obviously, it's an ever-evolving thing. As the time goes by,
And
it
the
kind of
older you
increases.
get,
Yeah. But right now, I would say maybe. Do you know what, I'll allow maybe two. And it has to be like serious relationships. Serious relationships.
You two.
I'm not two.
Okay.
I'm a virgin.
Okay.
Oh, I see. You deserve a virgin.
Yes, 100%.
100%. You can say that. That's
no.
what you can
That's
say.
completely fair.
That's
Yeah.
completely
That's
reasonable.
100%, yeah.
Reasonable.
But I didn't think I don't mind. Okay, I'll allow to because I understand the way the world is.
No,
Everyone's
but
brought up.
that is completely fair if that is what you want for yourself, because that is the standard that you've put for yourself.
100%.
And if you want a girl, that's completely fair.
That's reasonable.
yeah.
Don't
No, you guys
next
don't
week,
laugh
Freddie.
because
But then I don't mind. I kind of want a girl that will challenge me, that is outspoken. I want her to think for herself. I don't.
See, I would hate that in a girl if she constantly challenged me. That's for me is a turn
if
off.
she had a mind,
stop.
my
No,
god.
it's not
God
mine.
forbid.
Do whatever you want to
No,
do.
but I thought,
God forbid she negotiates her pay.
Wait,
challenging in a way that
to give a bit of context, they're both on opposite ends of the spectrum in their personalities.
Yeah.
He himself is very, very outspoken. He's fiery. He loves to challenge people. He on the other side is very, very laid back. He doesn't really like to make a scene. He's very, very quiet. So therefore, for him, it's like imagine like those two being in the room. They're the complete opposite types of people. So he wants someone that's like
him.
more like him.
Yeah,
Someone
yeah.
that's very, very relaxed. That's why for him, it's like if he was to go with a girl that's like very, very outspoken, that's not who he is.
That's
Okay.
it.
And that's not the sort of
outspoken is
person.
not
That's not.
synonymous with intelligence. I get
No.
that. Exactly.
You can be intelligent as much as you want. Just know when to keep shut. That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Just
That's what
know
I'm
when
saying,
to.
yeah.
That's it.
But
That's
you
an
mean,
intelligence
I get
itself.
what you mean because that's the rules that you abide by for
That's
yourself.
it.
So therefore,
Yeah.
that's what you want. Essentially, I feel like a lot of the issues that we're speaking about is due to the fact that us as men, it's like when
He's different.
I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. It's basically a
Yeah.
case where when a man, well, from my experience, I've always seen it as in like around the people that I've been about, when a guy is with a girl, it's as if she's your possession.
That's it.
But I mean this in the least toxic way. So say, for instance, if you've got a girlfriend, it's like she's mine.
That is,
You know, and the same way she can say, I'm yours.
Mhm.
So therefore, if we're to use that kind of ideology, it's a case of, would some men prefer a car that's had 5 previous owners or a car that's fresh out of the showroom?
You can't
5
use
previous
that
owners,
example.
No, no, no.
100,000
Hold on.
miles.
I would, okay, not the car, but I'm trying to say, but but as
Broken
bad as
lights.
it might sound,
It does sound
this is the
bad, yeah.
ideology
It
of
is
some
bad.
people,
It is
you
bad.
know.
Because you're
No
objectifying
MOT.
women.
This is what I'm trying to say. So
when you're
therefore,
saying,
that's what I'm trying to say. With a lot of men, it's a case of the woman is my possession. So
That's it.
therefore, I only want I
Okay,
only
but
want the
she's
luxury.
seeing you
of
as
it.
her possession.
Yeah, no, I'm 100%. That's what I'm saying.
So
I don't.
why-
No, for me personally, I can't. I don't really like in regards to like stuff like body count. I don't really care about it. It's like whatever you done before me is your own past. Like what happens after is like
Let's say she's been with like 60 men.
that's ridiculous. Because I haven't done 60.
Okay.
So like if you're
Oh,
doing,
so it's only on par with what you've done. So let's say
but-
she's
but-
leveled with you.
If she's level with me, then I can't really judge her because I'm just as bad as she is.
Okay.
So how the hell can I say you're rotten, but I'm lit?
Do you feel like there's an in between when you perceive a woman of being a Madonna and a whore? Would
Yeah,
you
100%.
Is that something you would want to be with someone who's in between that, or would you prefer the
In
Madonna
modern
or the
day,
whore?
because obviously,
Yeah.
In modern
Yeah.
day.
Oh, go on.
I need a Madonna in the streets and a whore in the sheets. No, honestly, I think that's I think that's what most guys want. You know, you want the whore to be your whore, not everyone's whore. And you want
I
the
understand
Madonna to
what you
be.
mean.
I understand what you mean
I understand
because,
what you mean.
because I know, I know, yeah.
Yeah. But one thing that I've wanted, I know Saba was touching a point, is that why don't you girls care about how many men how many girls your
No,
guys
I-
have been with?
I couldn't-
What women are you speaking for?
women are
Oh,
you-
I thought you girls
She's-
didn't care. Like if
No,
your
no,
if
no,
your
no,
if
no,
your
no.
husband's
No, we're
married-
talking
He's
about it
active.
in a general
Okay.
sense. In society, it's more accepted that women. In our, we've
No,
had
in our
conversations-
personal.
I would never.
Really?
Never.
No,
So if a
we're
guy,
not
if you knew a
talking
guy
about
went
shoes.
with like 20 girls, is
No.
that
No, that is
Whoa,
so
that's
unappealing. So
That's
unappealing.
off.
that's no.
So
It's a
unappealing.
write-off.
No, he's not going
no
home.
Way.
No.
Bruh.
No way.
Okay. No, this is the first time in my life
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
ever heard a
exactly.
girl say
But
no.
this is
You're
But
telling
it's
me
all
this is
subjective,
what
that's
you
the
want
thing.
to be with a guy who's been with 20 man.
Man,
Whoa.
pull the plug. Wrong show.
20
That's
girls.
what you want. That's what you like.
That's
That's what you like, you know.
girls.
In the meanest society. Anyway, sorry.
That's a lot.
What?
That's a lot. That's a promiscuous man.
Yeah.
Good luck. Good luck to you. That's what I'm saying.
Man, say
Why?
Good luck.
Why would
Good
you
luck.
say good luck?
Good
Why?
luck. No, because I think the average is higher than that, isn't it?
I don't
No.
want
But
that.
this is the
Yeah,
thing.
No, it's
we're-
not. The average sexual partners that a man has in his whole lifetime is 7.
7.
7.
Okay,
Strangers
he's
is-
not-
I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I don't believe
Double
that.
check it. Double check it, bro.
7.
It's 7. Double check it. Right. In regards to the spectrum, for me, it's like I definitely like women that I like a girl that can put me in my place, 100%. So I guess if that's on the spectrum of like a whore, then I guess that's what I like. I don't want a girl that's submissive. I don't want a girl that, you know, if I tell her to jump, she says how high. I would like a girl that could sometimes tell me to shut the fuck up, and I'll be like, okay, well, okay, calm. You know, I want someone that is my equal. I don't want a doormat. So for me, like the whole Madonna ideology of someone that's holding it down, that's very, very timid, that doesn't really appeal to me. And equally, again, you know, on the other end of the spectrum, I wouldn't want a girl, you know, that's been with a bag of man, because for me, I don't really put myself out there like that either. So I guess I'm somewhere in between the spectrum, but if anything, I'll probably say I'm quite neutral in the middle. Like,
So
I
do
wouldn't-
we dare call it Madonna-Whore, or do we just say preferences, really and truly?
Madonna-Whore.
Because
It's a complex.
Do you think it's outdated?
yes, 100%.
I wouldn't say it's
I don't
outdated.
think
It's
it's
definitely,
outdated.
it's definitely carried
It's
forward.
outdated,
It's
but do you think it's still prevalent in society
100%.
Oh, it's
1
prevalent
million
in
percent.
society, yeah.
You even said you're guilty of it.
No,
I think-
no, but
I think
so it's all
some
down to-
women are guilty of
now?
it
Exactly.
as well.
Yeah.
This is what I wanted to bring up. I think there are some women as well who purposely try to make themselves appear as the Madonna, or purposely try to make themselves appear as the whore.
I've
And
I've
whore in this
spoke to a
context,
girl that
again,
said-
we're not talking about a promiscuous woman.
No, I spoke to a girl that was like that before. She said something like, she's no, legit. Because she's like the a girl. So she, what's it called, like loves to go to clubs, all that sort of stuff. And she said to me, like, once she gets a boyfriend, she said that all of that will stop. She's not going to be like that anymore, which kind of means that she says that she's going to transform from a whore to Madonna.
She knows herself that a guy who
You see-
is going to wife her.
You see
she
what I
has to
mean?
be a
So therefore,
Madonna.
then she even said to me, I'll be more like the wifey type. I said, what do you mean? She said like, well, yeah, I'll stop all of that going out business.
Yeah, she's got Madonna-Whore Complex.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to say. Like,
Yeah,
definitely, it's definitely in both sides, and obviously that's driven by men because we are the hunters. You know.
Mm.
Well, I think
So actually, do you DM boys? You message boys first?
No.
No.
I don't even answer DMs, let alone me.
Sorry,
no.
Miss Popular.
No,
Sorry.
no, not in that way. No. But
Don't send her a DM, boys.
No, but do you know what? Do you know what? Yeah, I feel like okay. So I have a bit of that complex as well because the reason why I don't answer DMs is because I don't want guys to think that I'm a certain type of way if I answer a DM because I know you can't be approaching me just through the internet over Instagram. Are you mad? No way. Like I know my value and I know my worth. I don't think that that's an appropriate way for you to be messaging me if you want to take me serious.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
on the other hand, if a woman approaches a guy because she's interested in him, that doesn't make her a whore.
I think that's lit. I feel like if a girl's confident enough to approach a guy, that's like raw. Like,
But I think-
that's sick.
I think a lot of it like does stem from hypersexuality of women. That stems from them being as young as what was the Netflix?
Was she like
She was
8?
11, 12?
She was 11.
12, yeah.
I
She
can't
12.
remember.
She's 12. You know, even that like hypersexualizing these young women from such a young age. Already she's categorized as, or she's been set up for the rest of her life to be this whore in society because she's a dancer and she goes against her religion and she goes against this. That Netflix show's got a lot of issues that's like that I don't agree with.
What was it called
Similar
again?
to I forgot what it's
I
called.
can't remember.
I know
can't
it was
remember
it was in the
what it's
Sundance Festival or Sundance or Sundown Festival, one of the two. But I forgot the name of it. I remember seeing it on Twitter and it was
Little
just
something, I think.
it didn't really sound appealing at all.
It is actually quite crazy that you can't just leave kids to be kids or dress like kids. I know was it Stranger Things? Is it Millie Brown?
Yeah,
Bobby Brown?
Millie Brown.
Yeah. That the fact that they're trying to dress her to be older than she actually is, or
Yeah.
That's the issue of Hollywood.
Yeah,
Because
and
sex
Emma
sells.
Watson-
Cuties.
Mm.
Sorry,
Cuties,
the show was
yeah.
called
Yeah.
Cuties.
and then Emma Watson and Harry Potter,
Mhm.
loads of guys were saying, "Oh yeah, they'll smash her." She was 12 when she
Wow.
first started.
Yeah.
Have you guys watched Matilda?
Yes,
The
yeah.
movie. So you know the main character, Mara Wilson, I think her name is. She after that, she just like vanished off the face of the earth. Like no one knows about her. She doesn't do movies anymore or anything like that. Because she after that film, people started sexualizing her and they couldn't like her like they used to because they had started to see her in a different way and she was like spread all over the media because of seeing her in this new light where they couldn't differentiate her as a kid and her as a woman who's growing. So as an actress, she just didn't,
Wow.
her career just went.
That's sad.
And you see it with loads of like girls in Hollywood where their role kind of changes. With Millie Bobby Brown, she's like completely sexualized now that she's 14, 15, I don't know how old she is. And it separates that from her being a child actress and we start seeing her in that way.
And then you immediately start to categorize her as this whore in this complex that we're talking about because immediately you're like, you can't, as you said, you can't associate her with being this holy person because you start to sexualize her. The whole point of this complex and the whole reason as to why this complex is there for a term that we use is to say that the person that you marry is not somebody that you sexualize initially. It's only until you marry her and then potentially you can become sexually attracted. And I use the word potentially because not all the time, because usually some men who don't sexualize that Madonna that they marry go and cheat.
Yeah, it's true.
That's terrible.
Whilst I don't feel like, I follow the Madonna-Whore Complex, I like 100% agree that it definitely is prevalent like around all of us. But I feel like the only way to kind of break the cycle is for women to be the change. Because the reality is, if we look at it in most basic terms, if men are the hunters of women, you can't change the crop, can you? All we can just do is hunt from the current crop. So therefore, if women break, like if a lot of it is if like women like yourselves go against the grain and you say, I'm not gonna be put into a box of being a Madonna or a whore. I'm just gonna live the way I want to live. Men will have to adjust inherently.
It's not as simple as that, because even with the media will also put everyone back in place. So take, for example...
But if everyone does it, like for instance, if we talk about, was it Billie Eilish?
Billie
Eilish, sorry. So you see how the media painted her out to be like this, I don't know, the next suffragette, because obviously she's covering up her body sort of thing. But you see again like how that's an example of, although it's screwed up how they glorify her, but then they like oppress like Muslim women or other women that choose to dress more modestly.
Nuns or
But that's an example of how, you know, if that becomes more common, let's say for instance, if she started a trend where that becomes the norm, then by default,
they pick and choose. Honestly,
the work shouldn't be put on women to change. It should
It's
be put
both.
on
It's
it's a society issue, and it's also men seeing women as sexual beings in the way that it's portrayed in media and advertisement and everything.
I don't think it's going to get any better.
And it's like this is something, and especially now that I think promiscuity is getting more and more accepted, and we're being more equal, the lines are getting a bit more blurred. So people are kind of confused. They don't know what category to put them in. And it's just like created a weird kind of thing of an
Twilight
in-between.
kind of zone.
And people don't really know how they're going to marry. They don't even know what the idea of marriage has completely even changed.
I'd 100% agree, because now, for instance, you know, like we said, historically, women were like either like a Madonna or a whore, but now you're seeing women, you know, be a lot more free.
It's a Venn diagram now.
Yeah, essentially. And women have been a lot more liberated. But then, you know, it kind of goes against what men see as the norm. And then she'll be like, no, I'm still, you know, being free, I'm being liberated. And men genuinely then get confused as well. So, you know, women will start to, let's say, wear more revealing clothes, which is their own choice. But then men will be like, but I don't get it. Like,
this is what I'm saying. This is the problem that I've got. Like, that's what I'm saying.
Like, guys, so just say, for instance, if you were wearing like a dress that, let's say, like hugged your body, for instance, some guys would be like, okay, she's giving off this sort of energy. And then let's say if they try to talk to you and you're like, I really don't have time for any of your conversation, they'll be like, what do you mean, bro?
This is mixed
but you're
messaging.
dressed like this, so you therefore want man to approach. You know,
but this is the thing. What men need to realize is that women don't dress for men 99% of the time.
100%. And the reason why I'm interjecting here is because my friend was telling me this. His girl, she how do I say this?
Just say
that she has assets, yeah, and
sticks.
Sorry. Anyway, so he was like, "Oh, why do you keep dressing like this? Da, 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 da. Like, why are you wearing tight clothes and all that stuff?" It was up until he actually went out shopping with her, and he was like, "Okay, try this on." He was actually looking for
clothes
dead clothes
Oh,
for
swear.
her, and even then, it still made it look quite
provocative. And
that's when he was
okay,
like, "Okay."
So this is something that me and Saba have experienced. Tight crop top and jeans on me will look completely different on Saba.
100%.
So on Saba, so let's say her outfit that she's wearing today.
Yeah, if I wore the trousers Iman was wearing right now, it would look super baggy on me.
Yeah.
But on Iman,
So I have to wear a top that covers what I need it to cover because I don't want to come across as being promiscuous, or I don't want to come across as if I'm showing this or showing that. Do you understand? But then when Saba wears it, Saba's fine. Do you understand? Saba's modest.
Yeah, 100%.
Saba's not sexualized.
It's because
not sexualized, but it's seen.
It's not to the same degree. It's not to the same degree
for
attention. Yeah, 100%,
Thank
100%. And it's interesting you say that, because it's like, obviously women have no say in how their bodies are formed, for instance. But let's say if a woman is more endowed in certain areas, some guys will inherently see that as like
but that is
sexual.
That's her body.
It's like
100. Yeah,
that's her body. She has no control.
and
over
so like you're saying, she could wear, like, say for instance, if a girl's got a G-Wagon and then like let's say she's wearing like a bed sheet, and let's say if like her bum was to still stick out, some guys will still be like, whoa, but again, that's literally just out of her control.
Even like, so Saba's known me since we was 10, and since a very, very young age. So obviously we wore school uniform, skirts, whatever. And then when we got to sixth form now, I've always worn long coats. And people used to say to me, "Oh man, like your coats are so long," and yada yada yada. Like, why are your coats this? Before it was even in fashion. And that was just how I felt comfortable because I was being sexualized even at a young age of 16, wearing jeans and a normal denim jacket. I'm getting stopped by a man on the middle of the street. So if I'm now with my dad or if I see that's uncomfortable for him, it's uncomfortable for me. I don't want that's not my intention. So even now to this day, I will only ever wear like, unless it's like in a function where I can take my jacket off, wherever I am, out on the street or what, like I'll always wear a long coat.
It's a shame that that's the case though, in a sense that, you know, like it's crazy. Have you guys seen the video of like
the woman walking down the street and her being
New York,
No, I haven't seen it.
So
she's got you can say
no, go on.
she's got like a hidden camera. I think she's just wearing like a calm dress, like nothing like.
No, she's literally jeans and a t-shirt.
Oh, jeans and t-shirt. Sorry, she's not literally wearing anything revealing, and then she's just walking down the street, and then literally you just seeing guys just catcalling. Is it wolf whistling? Whistling, just doing things to get her attention. Like, and it's a shame that that's the world we live in. That, you know, women, even if let's say women don't even want to put that energy out there, men just see it and think she's just that's the it's an invite to behave in that way. And then
the only thing I would say about that is that I'm completely against it. I'll never catcall a girl or approach a girl like that. But if everyone's doing it, there must be a reason. Like, there must have been a time that it's worked once for them.
But that's the thing.
And they decided to do it again and again.
But you got to remember. Sorry, but back in the day when they used to catcall, they used to do that in pursuit of marriage. Like, they used to go and court a woman. So catcalling back in the day was different to what catcalling is today.
No, but I mean, guys that still do it today, they must do it for a particular reason.
Because they want a reaction.
Yeah, and
the reaction.
They sexualize the woman and they think
reaction.
Even
if a woman gets annoyed or if she gets angry, it's still a reaction.
Okay.
And it's still like, oh, I got something out. I got her to turn her head, or I got something. And it's, I don't know.
At least, what I was going to add to that is, at least I feel like in Western societies, women are able to talk up and are able to like shout back or able to call the police. Let me tell you, back home, that's not running.
Yeah, I know.
Because I can't walk outside of my house at 11 p.m, midnight, and like fear to some degree of my life. Yeah. So I would have to make sure that I'm going out with a guy that I know,
like a chaperone,
a friend, a chaperone. In Arabic we say mahram, so Islamically you have a mahram. I have to, like, when I'm in Morocco in the summer, I have to be with a guy. I have to. I can't walk out by myself.
It's true. It's the same in Nigeria. But even if you have a chaperone, I saw a video. This girl actually had a chaperone, and someone actually still ran up and slapped her.
She was by herself. She was actually by herself. Actually by herself still.
Yeah.
It was the worst part about it was a little boy that did it. And she was in a market full of like men. And I guess this is where us as men have to take accountability now, in a sense that we also have to pull people up on it. Because you know how you see it with, like, we're seeing it now with like testimonies of girls in the sense, like the Me Too movement, for instance, how it's not only the responsibility of women, it's also, you know, if you've got friends, or I'd like to hope that a lot of guys have got friends and they know that their friends are moving wayward, they'll G-check them, you know? But the thing is, we all know that isn't the case.
Yeah, we would never do that.
We turn a blind eye.
We never do that. We'll never G-check our friends if they did that.
But you should.
Yeah, all three of us.
1 second, if a girl slaps
No, not slap us. Say we're out on a night out, we're going out to a club, and one of our boys says, "Hey, you," and calls out a girl. None of us will say, "Hey, bro, like, don't do that."
I guess it depends on this.
Exactly, we wouldn't. Exactly, we wouldn't.
My cousins wouldn't. The boys
See?
that I'm around, they wouldn't.
See, understand that we're all saying it's a bad thing, but we're all saying we're not going to correct it.
No.
So
but
where's the right balance?
But I guess in that scenario there, if it's a case of, if he's trying to speak to her in like that rude manner, like, it's up to her whether she actually wants to acknowledge him.
But we should be able to say, you know, you're making her feel awkward. Don't do that.
No, but
approach her in the correct way.
But let's say she's walking past here and he goes, "Oi, like, yo," and she airs him. Then nothing comes of it. And it's like, you try like learn that this doesn't really work. If he's then trying to like go after her, etc., then it's a case I'll be like, bro, like, relax.
But you know guys that have the same game plan that try again and again and again and again. It might be different girls, but they'll still try again and again. And you'll never say, "Hey, bro, like, relax, like calm down, don't talk to any girls. You'll
To
never
be
do
honest,
that.
it's not even the catcalling is a major issue, but that's not even the main issue. It's the language behind it. Like even once the girl leaves, let's say you didn't catcall and you're all on a night out, it's the conversation you guys have afterwards. Like, oh my god, did you see what she was wearing? Did you see this? Blah, 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 blah.
That's so true.
That is not okay. That's still
That's
not
so
okay.
true.
But,
You're putting her into the whore category straight away.
So from a female perspective, have you never like gone past or guys walk past and then you've sexualized him without as in like not within like his body, but I mean like certain aspects of him. You're like, he's so good looking,
say,
or
oh yeah, that was a handsome guy, or like.
But I wouldn't necessarily. I wouldn't sexualize him. It's not like it's not something that's like.
It would never be sexualized.
No,
So,
it wouldn't be and it wouldn't be like derogatory. This is the problem.
Exactly.
I feel like from a male's perspective, it then degrades a woman and it reduces her worth and it reduces her ability to be a Madonna. Whereas if I was to say that a man was handsome, even if I was to sexualize him, I wouldn't say that he's something that I wouldn't be able to marry.
I get
just
that.
because of me sexualizing
I get
him.
that.
Even though I mean, I can't really think of a time where I have sexualized someone, but
I
if I have,
100% agree. The only rebuttal that I could ever come up with is the fact that in mainstream media, men and women are obviously sexualized different. So even if it comes to models, men you'll see for underwear being his top half is removed. It's just like the crotch is the only bit of decency that he has. So therefore, because this portion already is so widely accepted as, this isn't a thing.
That it isn't sexualized,
Yeah, so therefore it's a case of that aspects of a man can't be sexualized. However, for a woman, like that region and obviously this region, they're covered up. So therefore it's a case of, I guess, that kind of element
what you
of
can't see.
that element of inquisitiveness for men is like it's hidden, like kind of like
but
you know what I mean?
Then it's almost like it's forbidden. But another problem with that, with sexualization of women's breasts, is obviously mothers not being able to breastfeed in public because men sexualize breasts.
It was a massive thing a couple
That
of
was
years
recently,
ago.
a couple of years ago.
Because when we see women, we instantly sexualize them, and you can't see a mother in that way.
You can't see a mother literally giving food to her child. It's food.
It's sustenance.
So
Like,
are you
know what I
guys
mean?
saying through the nipple then, basically?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm saying to
personally,
each their own.
but
I'm
each
saying
their
to
own.
each their own.
Personally, I wouldn't
personally
feel
wouldn't.
comfortable.
Okay.
And the reason why I wouldn't feel
because
comfortable,
you know how
I'm
we
more
perceive
comfortable
by
being more
people like ogle at
conservative
you.
in
And
the way I
stuff.
dress.
Yeah,
But if
and-
that's what you wanted to do.
and also my religion and my culture plays into it as well. I just wouldn't want a man seeing me in that intimate space because I consider that to be intimate for me. But if another woman feels comfortable to
it's
do
her
so,
business.
absolutely, no problem.
Look,
You know.
I can't lie. I'm learning a lot today about the way girls think about stuff. But one thing that I just want to learn from you girls is that you've told us the wrong ways to approach guys and ways that you don't like to, because you feel like they're making you feel like you are the whore in the Madonna-Whore Complex. So from a girl's perspective, what's the best way for a guy to approach you?
Just
To take you serious in terms of you being serious.
Personally, I like confidence.
Okay.
So it's not necessarily that I wouldn't like someone to physically come and approach me, but it's just the manner of your approach, the way you speak to me. Just if you're courteous, if you're kind, if you're just be normal, like don't sexualize me or don't say, or like I've had so many guys that will look me up and down first and then talk to me, and then like it's just
What's that called?
it's
Stripping someone
I think
naked of your eyes.
also
That's
being-
that-
I
is
don't
that
know
it's
what the
called?
hell they're
Understanding
doing, but
your
they're doing.
environment. What is your intention? Are you approaching this woman because you see her as a whore, or are you approaching this woman because you see her as a Madonna?
But for
And
you,
you're
Saba,
in
personally, for
between.
you,
or in
like,
between?
how would you like a
And
guy
I think
to
it
approach
depends
you?
as well. Sorry to interject.
Yeah.
It depends if someone is approaching me in the club, or if
Exactly,
someone
that's
is
what I'm saying.
approaching me on the street, or someone's approaching me in the
It
library,
depends
But in a
on-
or someone's
perfect
approaching
world
me at work.
for your own perfect guy, how is the best way for him to approach you?
Somebody
Day to day.
who probably will approach me in a professional environment.
Okay.
So not
Really?
necessarily. No, I wouldn't. To be
So
honest,
if a guy
someone,
if a guy tried to speak to you in the club, you'd instantly write it off.
no, I wouldn't even talk to him.
No,
I wouldn't conversate with him.
absolutely not.
But
I
at
wouldn't.
work, you'd prefer that in a professional environment.
Yeah, because I feel like it's
What happens if it's
you're a lot-
outside of the club? So let's say if you've got
No,
you
if
walked
I'm-
out now and then he's tried.
Well,
Is that
the
different?
problem with that is that there's intoxication involved. There's so many different factors. There's so many other promiscuous women out there. There's so many, like, just for me, it's just all the whole.
For you, it's just the setting of
the whole situation, the whole setting for me is just a no.
But equally, you said you like confidence. So what happens if it's a guy that, you know, like in London, London's very small but very, very big. So you never know if you're going to see that person again.
To be honest, I wouldn't like to be approached by anyone I wouldn't know, like a random person. I would have to be someone I like. If I already am friends with them, or if I know them, or if we have a mutual person and they approach me then, or if we've spoken a couple of times, then cool. But if it's a random person off the street, it does not make me feel comfortable.
Okay.
That is another thing, yeah. I feel like once I do meet someone and get to know them, I'd like to know that there's some kind of familiarity, whether that be job,
some sort of a foundation. Some sort of a foundation.
Some sort of thing that I know, like, you're not wayward.
But at the same time, girls are the ones, and it's only girls that say, I can't chat to you because you chatted to my friend. You're speaking
that's
to my
another
friends.
thing. Yeah.
So how can a guy talk to you if they're just trying to talk to your friends to get to you?
Well, then make that intention
but that's
clear with
different.
the
Okay,
friends.
so just make
if you've spoken to my friend and dated her previously,
Yeah.
there's no way you're going to speak
That's
to
not
me.
going to happen.
Okay.
No way.
All right.
No, but you're saying, of course, you would never speak to a girl who's spoken to your
You
boy.
would never date a girl who Freddie's dated, would you? Oh no, I've just.
This is awkward. No, I'm joking.
Why has that happened?
No.
Oh.
But actually, I can hear it in Saba's voice. She's scared of that. No.
Oh no.
No, I get that. I wouldn't take it seriously. I would.
But
Yeah.
really and truly, okay, with most girls, they're quite possessive in the sense that, okay, a guy's chatting to
Be
her.
careful of your words.
That I did say most. That they're quite possessive. So if a guy's chatting to her, but they misconstrue that it's, and they think it's
But
that
guys
way.
have that as well.
Yeah, guys have that as well.
Mm.
So, and obviously they'll say to their friends, okay, oh, we're doing this, we're doing that, oh, we're proper close. But then this guy then starts chatting to you and he says, actually, in actual fact, none of this is happening. Like, I'll show you the receipts, look at this, it's just literally friendship. Would you still be down to like,
To get to know him.
It's
know?
too messy. It's too messy.
It's nice and clean.
so messy. I was just thinking
It's
that.
way
That's
too
so
messy.
weird.
Just
Okay.
keep it simple, man.
Okay.
No.
Keep it simple.
No.
No, I
Too
respect that. I understand that as well.
No.
I understand that.
But do you know what? I don't like, because
I have a question. How do you guys, when it comes to partners, what metric or what compass do you use to get like to maneuver through being single or be
Through like my list, you mean?
Man's already said finance, money.
No, I didn't say that. I
No.
said what the equivalent is.
And
for
tattoo
women.
as well. I think in the last episode you said tattoos as well.
We're saying that with men,
Yeah.
obviously, a lot of it is driven through sexualization. So
Yeah.
I'm asking for both of you.
For me,
It
what
has
is
to be
it that
intellectual
you?
stimulation.
Yeah, intellectuals.
Initially.
Yeah, same.
Humor, being on the same wavelength in terms of your humor.
Mhm.
Like, it depends on.
Definitely for me.
Less superficial.
Most of the
factors
things are nothing to do with aesthetics. Like, they're all to do with how I view you just genuinely as a person. If we can relate emotionally, if you're able to communicate, communication is a massive one for me. I can't be with someone that can't communicate effectively.
But the question is, how do you gauge all of this from first interactions?
No, but-
Because
I would have to get to know some. No, but I'm
Okay.
not. I'm not like I
This
don't
is-
put off somebody straight away from the bat. Like I'm.
Oh, okay. You'll
I'm
give
an
them a
ab-
shot. Oh, okay,
yeah. I'm not someone who's
Because
like.
obviously, let's be real. A lot of guys, obviously, it's not just a case of, she got big back. Actually, there are a lot of guys that do make an exception, but
Yeah.
by and large, I'm saying like from first contact,
Yeah.
from first point of contact, it's a situation where it's purely off of aspects
This
because you
is the
don't know the
difference.
rest.
Mm.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the time where, again, fueled by media, I would say,
Mm-hmm.
where when you want to approach a woman, the first thing you notice is her physical appearance, and you
100%.
and you separate it from. And I'm generalizing, not
But
all
by and
men.
large,
but-
how else
And you
can it happen?
separate
Yeah.
it from her, and obviously women do it as well. If you're,
Yeah.
If an ugly, if
physically
a guy that
appealing.
if an ugly boy approaches you, like,
But I think with women, a lot of
Yeah.
the time, it is, again, generalizing, it is intellectual stimulation first, it is emotional, it is, communication, it is
It
a
is,
lot of different
and this
factors,
is-
and then that comes secondary,
But I
or
think
it comes alongside.
But I think women have a pivotal role to play as well, because if a woman says, "Oh, he's so lucky because he's got a great car, a good house, and a good-looking wife," that's always been like a trophy thing for a man to have. A good-looking wife. Everyone sees it as a tick in the box. Like, wow, well done. He did well because he has a good-looking wife.
Mm.
Why shouldn't we change as a culture to say, "Oh, he has a wife that's intelligent"? no one would do that because for everyone,
Even women.
Because
That's
men,
not
but
attractive.
this is the problem. Men sexualize women.
but
so
women
men see
accept it as well.
Yeah, but 1000%. Because women have this complex as well. This is what I'm saying to you. We all have the complex, but it does stem from men sexualizing women first, and women accepting this idea, having this idea and complex for themselves, and feeding into it later on in life.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about when men adopt this idea. I'm saying they adopt it from like 5, 6. Like I'm not saying that they adopt it from like an older age. I'm saying when they're quite young. Same as women, we see it. So the over sexualization of women that's way too prevalent in all of our relationships within society is there. So it's not something that when you say like, oh yeah, we should change it from a good looking wife to an intellectual wife, I feel like that's really difficult to change if the man himself is not the one that's changing that.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with the trophy wife.
I get that.
And that's the problem
Because
with trying to dissect between Madonna and the whore.
If us guys were more like, all right, he did well because his wife is the CEO or of a particular level or has this particular standard, then we can slowly change the culture through there. We just need to, per se, reference girls in better lights. I think that's the only way we can do it.
I think you said that perfectly, and I think we should end it on that.
I think that's a good way to end it. Yeah. Even though we can speak about this for
Keep going on for time.
too long. But thanks for tuning in. Yeah, it's been really good just collabing with you lot. But yeah, check out Pull the Plug podcast on Instagram. And as always, follow us on YP4 Podcast. And it was great.
Catch
Thank
you
you
next
for having
great
us.
doing.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Ciao.
Bye.
Bye.